Well, first of all, I must say that I led a high-power delegation to this place in Koloin to bury our sister, to bury our leader, that Sarah Eperu Tino was. Sarah Tino was for a long time a leader in the party. She served as the spokesperson of the Women's League. She served as the chairperson of FDC in Ngora district, and until recently, leading up to her death, she served as the general secretary of Kapir constituency. And so we are saddened by the death of Sarah Eperu, a revolutionary leader, somebody who fought for a better Uganda, somebody who was inspired into politics by the suffering of the people of Teso. And I dare to say that Sarah Eperu witnessed and felt the pain of her relatives in Koloi, in Akait, in Morkakise, being herded in a wagon in Okungro, where 69 people perished.
And the commanders were here today.
And you know, this is something that both people in government today and those who were in government at the time, now posturing as opposition leaders, have not commented on. We have held our breath, we have held our patience on this. Sarah began to fight this regime 10 years before a reform agenda was formed. That means she was already fighting the regime when Dr. Besigye was in the army, when he was serving this rogue regime. When the tormentors of the people of Teso, people who killed people here in Okungro, in Mukura, people who killed people in Burchoro, people who killed people in Ngora, in Ojie, in Akisim, we are still serving the regime, and we are silent about the atrocities that befell the people of Teso. So we come here today to honor a great leader, somebody who spoke for the people of Teso, actually one of the pioneers of political resistance against the regime in Kampala. And she was, you know, in this with many other key players, including myself in Teso. When reform agenda came here, and you know, when Dr. Besigye announced his opposition, 10 years after Sarah began resistance against this regime, we embraced him in this region. Without Sarah and the people of her like, reform agenda would not have gained root here. And therefore, the foundation of FDC that Teso is would not have been built if it hadn't been for the efforts of people like Sarah. And so it is extremely painful that people will come here to turn Sarah's funeral into a joke. You know, security people putting on helmets as if there is anybody who was prepared to attack them. We had organized the Member of Parliament for Ngora, the Honorable Stella Isodo Apolot, the Honorable Obwalo, the Honorable Alobo, and the other leaders, the Honorable Nandala Mafabi, when there was difficulty in handling the body, because our friends from Katonga had promised to pay for funeral services, which they failed by Tuesday this week. We moved in because we wanted to honor this great leader. We moved in because for me, as a son of the soil, it would have been disastrous for me not to bury her. And that was my greatest concern. This is my sister. These people, some of them have come here, they have gone, they will never visit this grave again, where Sarah has been put. At least for me, I have the opportunity of passing along this highway every often. And I will be able to do exactly that, to continue honoring my sister. It's therefore extremely painful that our friends come here to begin to twist the narrative. The reality is that we have got one FDC in this country. That FDC resides in Najanankumbi, I beg your pardon. It doesn't reside in Katonga. The FDC that these fellows have coined is FDC that should respect the leadership in Najanankumbi. So for Dr. Besigye to say, you know, his leader is somewhere else, he's just begun to say, indirectly say he doesn't belong to FDC, he's no longer a member of the FDC. So if that is what he says, because I was endorsed, I was elected in the election of the 6th of October. That took place in Lugogo Showgrounds as president of the FDC for another 5 years. So if Dr. Besigye thinks I am not the leader and he has another leader somewhere, it is his choice. But what he is indirectly saying to us is not a member of FDC. And he has freedom to live. FDC is not going to die, it's not going to collapse on account of anybody leaving the FDC. Never. So I understand that our friends are preparing to start a new political party. It is their choice. But I also want to warn that they should desist from violence. Because I have heard they want to come and take over Najanankumbi by force. This is not going to happen. This is a big joke. It is a big joke. First of all, I want to say that the Nandala Mafabi that is being talked about as having masterminded the stealing of a body, that is an insult to Nandala. Sarah Eperu was the niece of Nandala Mafabi. Sarah Eperu received support endlessly from Nandala Mafabi. In fact, each time he returned from his trips abroad, he's actually out of the country, that's why he's not here today. He would come with medication from Germany, from the rest of Europe, from England, from the United States of America, from Canada, and bring that medication to her niece, his niece. And to an extent that Sarah took a goat from the farm here and took it to her uncle to say thank you for taking good care of me. Now what these jokers are talking about, these ones, making, creating a storm from a teacup, is just an exaggeration of what happened. We had a National Council meeting taking place in Najanankumbi. And the standing order was, because of the anticipated chaos that they wanted to cause, the standing order was no vehicle would park inside Najanankumbi compound. This applied to everybody, including me, the president of the FDC. I came and I said to the people, the security, I am president of the FDC. My car is going to go in here. And they said, no, regardless of what you are going to park outside. I listened to them, I parked outside. Sarah came, she wanted to enter the premises by force, against the instructions given to the security, based on the intelligence that we received. And so she stayed in the car. We even tried to persuade her. Because of her disability, we would get a wheelchair for her. But I think probably the intention instigated by these guys was different. And so she was not allowed to go into Najanankumbi. It is a fallacy. It is totally wrong. It is extremely disappointing that anybody would say that we drove Sarah out of the FDC. Remember that even after that incident, the late Eperu came to Ngora. She participated in the elections. She was elected as the secretary for this constituency. She came to the National Delegates Conference where I was re-elected president of the FDC. She did. She actually went to Soroti and participated in the swearing in of the leaders. From Teso, she was there. Now, when Besigye and his group come here to begin to distort facts for political expedience, you should know that that is a defeated group, and we are going to defeat them in their own game. In Katonga, our friends sitting in Katonga failed to raise the money for funeral services, and we came in to help the family. We are not proud about spending 9.5 million shillings in paying funeral service to handle this body because of the special person that Sarah was. If I died today, no such amount of money will be drawn from the FDC treasury to bury me. No. My family will take care of most of those expenses. But we did that for Sarah. We were in consultation with the family, most especially with Sarah Eperu, who went to the funeral services to choose the coffin, together with the Honorable Ebualu, together with the Honorable Stella Isodo, distinguished members of our community. You know, for anybody to say that Nandala would steal a body of Sarah Eperu, to do what with it? Isodo would steal a body of Sarah Eperu, to do what with it? That the Honorable Ebualu would steal a body of Sarah Eperu, to do what with it? By the way, the value of a body is zero in terms of money. That is why when bodies come from out of the country, they say the value of this is zero. The tax that it draws is zero. So it's a terrible insult, whether it's coming from a member of the family or from Dr. Kizza Besigye. That is an insult to our intelligence. And we are going to deal with these insults with the contempt that they deserve.